Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609, and I'm at the little town of Lincoln, New Mexico. This is where like the Lincoln County wars were years ago in New Mexico, and this was the main, or one of the main players in it. This building and this mercantile back when, and so we'll start here. I'm going to get some dates to kind of get you oriented. But I just finished reading a historical book written by Utley that describes everything that went on here. And then I watched some documentaries on YouTube and stuff. So yeah, there's not a lot. The information pretty much is the same in the documentaries and the book. But anyway, it says this is the Murphy Dolan store, and built in 1874. So that kind of gives you the time frame. And this is the original building. Of course, they've redone it. It's not open now. This is the old Lincoln County Courthouse. And up there was the sheriff's office. But anyway, Billy the Kid, William Bonney, William McCarty or whatever, he ended up with the name Billy the Kid. Of course, that was a news media thing to sell books and dime novels and so forth. But there's a lot to the story that maybe a lot of people miss, because most of the players are the actors in this drama back when. Again, all these old buildings, or most of them, were here during the Lincoln County Wars, but they've just been restored. So anyway, with that in mind, we'll move on. But most of the actors in this drama, the Lincoln County Wars in the 1870s or whenever, in that range, were young. I mean, this guy Tunstall, the English guy, one of the main players, he was like 23 years old. Billy the Kid died at the ripe old age of 21. And when this story started opening up here, he was like 16, 17 years old. And so these are, a lot of the players were in their teens and early to mid 20s. And so, yeah, but back then, that was a different world. And at that age, girls were getting married at 13 years old and so forth. I mean, it was just the way it was. And but be that as it may, one of the things I found out was I kept wondering why William Bonney, he gave himself that name. That was his, quote, cover name, so to speak. And I didn't put the wind thing on the mic, so hopefully it's not going to be windy, but moving on along. William Bonney could have left, or Billy the Kid could have left New Mexico at any time. After one of his famous escapes, he could have left New Mexico and been done with this thing and probably lived happily ever after somewhere else. But he didn't. A lot of people ask the question, well, why didn't he? And I've asked that question, come on, guy. All you have to do is leave the state and you're cool. Because back then there was no FBI, none of that stuff. You could cross the state line, you're free. And but the reason he didn't, he got along with the Mexicans, the Spanish people quite well, because he spoke the language fluently. And that is the culture. The culture is in the language. So if you understand the language and you speak it fluently, then you've got a real feel for the culture. And so he did. And so he got along with the little Mexican girls fine, the Spanish girls fine. And sure enough, as luck would have it, later on in his late teens, he falls in love with this very pretty young Mexican girl. And apparently her family was pretty well to do, etc. So, things are cooking along. He's in love, la 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 la. But her brother didn't like him at all. And so, after Billy the Kid's famous escape, when they had him in jail and he ended up killing 2 deputies, and and he was on the run again for the last time, I guess I'd say. Well, anyway, the way they found him, the way they ended up finding him and knowing exactly where he was his girlfriend's brother did not like William Bonney, Billy the Kid, William McCarty, okay? Didn't like him at all. And so he told the law enforcement where Billy the Kid was hiding out. And so they knew where he was. It was just a matter of picking a time to get him, and they did. You know, he came home one night, and they were waiting for him. And that's that famous thing, KNS, you know, like, who is it or who's there? You know, that he said that as he walked up to the door. Of course, he could be profiled in the doorway because of the moonlight, and they identified him, and boom, this sheriff shot him, you know, cold blood, you know, big deal, you know. Of course, you know, you pretty much had to do that back then. You know, that old stuff of, you know, meeting out in the street and stuff, that was made for movies, and they may have done that a few times. But basically, if you had it in for somebody and they were out on the road somewhere and you caught them, you just shot them. That was the end of that crap. You know, I mean, but anyway, we're moving along here. But this is the old original community of Lincoln, New Mexico. And this is Dr. Wood's house here, circa 1886. And anyway, I'm just killing time, guys. And the population now is about 68, I think, in that range. And there's a neat little walk down here. I walked down here one day and talked with Billy the Kid on this little trail, and we'll see if we can catch him today, and we'll talk to him again. But it's a beautiful day. Temperature is probably 65 to 70, and pretty nice, pretty nice. Just a light breeze, and everything's closed. They do have a lot of places that open up probably 10 o'clock-ish, and I'll try to keep my finger out of the video this time. I do that. I mean, it's just a natural place for me to put my hand. But this is a place you can walk down and go. There's a little trail down here. It's called a nature trail. How interesting. And yeah, we're going to go down here. It's a picnic area too. You know what I mean? You can come down here. I brought some stuff to have me a little picnic, but I chose not to because I didn't want to have to carry it. But that's poison ivy there. That's 3 leaves. You see what I mean? That's 3 leaves at a time. 3 leaves, leave me alone or something. Anyway, so yeah, be careful on these steps too. They're not the best in the world. I'm talking to myself, guys. But there's a little picnic table here. I've never seen anybody use any of this stuff. I'm sure they do on really busy times. But yeah, you just follow this little old trail. It's really pretty neat. Come on, Billy. Get off your butt and come on. Shit, you ain't got nothing to do. Sit there and drink. You know, he didn't drink much beer or alcohol. He was a great dancer. He was musically inclined. He was a faro dealer. You know, so he's a talented young man. The girls loved him because he was a great dancer and he could do the Mexican dances wonderfully. And so, yeah, that'll do it every time, you know. This is the Rio Bonito Riparian Trail, okay? And it's a neat little walk. I'm going to take the whole walk. I brought my walking stick, but I didn't bring it with me. See, here's an old outhouse right there. And I hear a hummingbird behind me. One of the few outhouses with a clean out. Anyway, the nature trail goes, they got it pretty well marked so you don't get lost, and there's no insects, and it's so quiet and peaceful. You know, and listen to this. Come on, Billy, let's go. Yeah, he was in love and that got him killed. Has that ever happened before? Huh. Every day. There's the deal for the nature trail right there. Anyway, here we go. Now, you know, these see this is a pretty good little incline right here. Now, these are the ones that'll get you when you're old because the rocks are loose and you know, they give way and like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, so luckily I was trying to be sure-footed or I'd have been standing on my head. Anyway, this is a little creek here, and right over there, that's the Rio Bonito. That's a little bitty river right there. And all these converge, the Rio Hondo and others converge into the Pecos River and head south. So we're going to go along here. Now that goes right down there. Let's go, Rusty. Oh, here you got a sign. Yeah, I'm doing reading the Indian signs. See here, You know, this way, you have to be able to read signs, see? And you see how they've got this deal like this and then that. That keeps bear from, I don't know if it keeps bear, it probably keeps elk out. You know what I mean? You can hear the stream. Let's go over here. This is a lovely place. It's so peaceful here, man. And you know, with old Billy behind me, come on, Billy, damn kid. I'm telling you, man, you slow down and he dozes off. So you can see his boot prints here. He got ahead of me somehow. Hold on, kid. Damn. It's embarrassing, isn't it? He did have two front teeth that were a little crooked, but you know, there's a debate as to whether that made him grossly ugly or semi-handsome. The girls liked him. And he had blue eyes. I mean, piercing blue eyes. I mean, Spanish blue eyes. I mean, he had, his eyes were so blue they were penetrating, one lady said. Yeah, I hear you. I got that. Come on, Billy. Damn kid. Sitting back there again. You know, was he a good guy or a bad guy? Well, let's look at it this way, ladies and gentlemen. His mother left the Northeast and went to Denver and married a guy, her second husband, his stepdad, in Denver, Colorado. He and his brother were signed at the wedding, so they knew that they were there. He had a brother that was a little bit older than he was. And but anyway, then they moved to Silver City, and his mother died. And after his mother died, he was, you know, Billy the Kid was 14 when his mother died. His stepdad leaves to go looking for silver. So there he is, 14 years old, and hello world, you're on your own, boy. You know, so you know the fact that he might have been a little rough. He wasn't a big kid. See, that was another thing. See, he was a little kid or skinny. You know what I mean? And people picked on him. You know what I mean? Because he was no physical threat. And anyway, he got beat up a few times, and next thing he learned how to use a pistoli and a rifle, and he got beat up in Arizona at the age of, I don't know, 15 or 16, and he killed a guy, shot him, and that was his first murder. And then he probably would have got off with manslaughter if he'd have hung around, you know, and gone to trial. But he was a kid, he was scared, so he went back to New Mexico, and so you can see his footprints right here. Got big feet for a kid, doesn't he? Yo. So, what else can I tell you? Come on, Billy. Anyway, he's telling me all this stuff as we're going here. But anyway, he came back to New Mexico, and you know, then he falls in with these bums, basically. Not really bums, but they were people that were, quote, quote, living off the land, stealing cattle and horses. And so, you know, and then he went to work for this guy Tunstall on the ranch. Of course, the reason Tunstall hired him and others at that time was because they were pretty damn good with weapons. And he wanted an army to fight this Irishman. And the Irishman was doing the same thing. And so, you know, you start arming people, and next thing you know, you do have a war. Isn't this nice, though, guys? Look at this. Just look around here. I mean, if you're going to have a place to have a war, at least have it in a cool climate where there's water and beauty all around you, and then blow it all up. So, let me get back around. Come on, boy. Damn it, kid. Slow down, and he dozes off. But yeah, I'll tell you one thing he was good at. Of course, because he was really slender and kind of a small individual. I mean, he was about 5'10" or 5'7", depending on which documentary you read. But he was kind of an escape artist. I think he escaped jails 3 times. And he may have had some help. You know, well, whenever he shot the 2 deputies, that was his last, quote, escape, so to speak, he did that on his own. He did that on his own. But you know, when you got a snake in a jail cell, a rattlesnake, you better be careful. Because that snake wants out. Isn't that right, Billy? Billy said, yeah, that's right. Come on. This is a nice little trail. It's not too long. It just kind of winds around and comes back into town, I hope. Here's a message from somebody to you guys. Anyway, here's the river over here, the Rio Bonito. Bonito means like pretty. You know, Rio is river, the pretty river. See those little falls there? Yeah, this is all snowmelt river, I'm sure. I got to go the other way. I see the trail sign up there. We'll go here and listen to this. Isn't this pretty? Could you sit there on those logs right here on the right up here and have your little picnic? Sure. Would that be cool? Yeah. Pretty neat, huh? Pretty neat. So, let's go, Billy. Where you at, boy? Oh, there he is. He's coming. Nice kid. You know, then there's the debate there too. You know, was he a good kid or a bad kid? Well, let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. Walk a mile in his shoes. Don't ever criticize. See, you can see his footprints right here. Right ahead of me here. See those? Maybe you can see them. I don't know what you can see. But you know, walk a mile in those shoes, and you'll know. You see, he had a difficult life. He was on his own. Man. I mean, he didn't have his mother was gone, his dad was gone, his stepdad ran off and left him, and so there he was in Silver City at the ripe old age of 14. Didn't know beans, and so he ended up leaving to go to Arizona. I don't know why. Nobody really does. But he did cross the border into Arizona from Silver City, going west, and kind of like disappeared for 2 years. Some people think he worked on some ranches with the vaqueros, which means cowboy, Mexican cowboy, vaquero, and that's how he picked up Spanish. But he was able to pick up languages. Of course, he was young enough for that. But he picked up languages well because he was musically inclined. Okay, you know, he was a good dancer. He loved music. I think he even played an instrument, but I'm not sure what. And yeah, if you're musically inclined, that lends itself to learning languages easier. Breeze here, probably you can hear it in the mic. Pretty nice area, those guys. Elevation here is probably 6,000 feet in that range. Yeah. Billy, is that your airplane? Have you got a damn airplane now after all these years? William Bonney. He gave himself that name. He thought he had come up with the perfect cover name, I'm sure. But look at the age, man. And then he gets messed up in this Lincoln County war. This guy Tunstall was his, quote, friend, kind of a father image apparently, and other guys killed him, murdered him basically, cold-blooded murder, and he got even. He murdered the murderers. So, but that wasn't just going on here at that time. That was going on all over the West. You know, Billy just got popularized by the media and the dime novelists, and that was it. They could have picked any number of other individuals. Come on, Billy. God damn it, kid. Yeah, he walks like he's got a limp. You know what I mean? You ever notice that? Or maybe that's from riding horses all the damn time. You know, I said this is a short trail. You hear me? This is the old short trail trick. 2 days from now, I'll come staggering into Lincoln, New Mexico with my tongue hanging out. See, I can read signs though on these trails. I can read signs to know which way to go. You know, the old Indian signs. You know, you can look and the way a rock is turned or a limb is broken. Well, see, here's a one that's really hard to tell. You know what you got to do here. Billy, can you read that sign? He said to go straight ahead. See there? So the kid even knows how to do this stuff. And over here, right in there, that's the little town of Lincoln, right there at the foot of those mountains. It's really pretty here, guys. I mean, really nice. I enjoyed it. This is one of those videos that I'm enjoying the hell out of doing. And of course, unfortunately, I got a little wind in the mic, probably, but maybe not too bad. Yeah, turn the clock back 150 years. You know, they didn't even have electricity. You know, think about that. No cars, no electricity. Horses were your transportation. No radio, no telephone, no nothing. You know, the word of mouth was the way to communicate. Did they have the telegraph in 1860? I'm not sure if they did or not. Did they? It may have just been coming out. How long we been going here? 2 days and 2 nights? Anyway, guys, I'll end the video here in a minute. I'll end it now, I guess. Let me turn around and face out of the sunlight and the wind. But be that as it may, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your life. Come on, Billy. Damn kid. Anyway, guys, from Lincoln, New Mexico, me and Billy saying, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want anytime. But old Billy and I'd sure appreciate it if you'd use the Amazon link in the description of all my videos. Why? He wants a new pistol and I want some food. Anyway, guys, keep your health. Adios, carpe diem, bye, drink water, keep your health up. Enjoy your life. What a beautiful, beautiful place. Ain't nothing around here, man. Birds.